You know, if it was me and I was in an army and I saw a monster like this, I definitely wouldn't go up to it and try to attack it. But that's just me. Dart guards, only 6,000. We should be okay. Yeah, I would not be going up to a monster like that. No, not me. I freaking love Vidavir's proc though. Look at that. Oh my goodness. What is going on, gamers? Aevatrex here, and today we're going to be playing Clash for Camelot. Now, this game is based on Arthurian legend, and there's a lot of different things here that are pretty new. I haven't really played a game like this, and then there are other things that I do kind of recognize, whether it's commanding your heroes and troops and taking over castles, etc., which is things that I absolutely love. The art style is definitely also right down my alley because if you know my gaming history, you know that I usually go for games with the anime slash cartoonish look, but also very polished. And if you can take a look at some of the heroes and formations and things like that, it pretty much hit that mark, which is something that I really enjoy. So this art style right here is definitely right down my alley, and I really enjoy this kind of art style because it's simplistic, but also in its simplicity, it has details, which is really awesome in my book. So big thumbs up on that. So this game speaks to me. Now, there's a couple of different things that I want to go over, and it's pretty much just the basics before we actually jump into a game. Now, the first thing that you have to know is that this game, they're pretty much like, for instance, if you go to Camelot, this is a 50-hour game with up to 12 players at a time. So essentially, you get thrown into this map, and you can do either solo or duos, and you get thrown into this map with 11 other players, and you all start in a different section of the map. And essentially what you have to do is you have to kind of like start taking over the map, defeating your opponents, and then it goes stage by stage, and the one that pretty much takes the most and get the most points at the end will win. Now, it doesn't always take the 50 hours. You could complete it in way less time depending on how good your competition is, how good you are, etc. And you get rewards from it. Now, once that game is done, then you can start another game, but you basically start at level 1 once again. So you don't just finish a game and then start another one, and you keep everything the same. Now, there is also another big part of that we haven't really talked about yet, and that is the heroes. The heroes are a very important part because the heroes is basically what are going to be commanding your troops. There's a lot of strategy that goes around it, which combination of heroes, etc. So let's just take a look at a couple of these heroes. I'm on the way. Let me move. Now, like I was saying, heroes are very important because they're pretty much the backbone to your armies. As you can tell, they each have different stats. They have different skills that they use. Like for this one, Vedivir deals 120% damage to the rear line of defenses. And if you go to Gahiri's, we got Dragon Skin, which reduces damage taken by 40%. So these are heroes that you actually want to strategically place, because when you go to Legion, this is how your army is going to engage the other army. So usually you want the ones that reduce damage and things of that nature up in the front with the most HP, and then the ones that are there for damage, etc., you want in the back. Pretty simple stuff, but there is another level to this, because once you go back to heroes, there are things that are called bonds, and that means that if a hero is along with another one, that specific combo is going to give you even more stats. So depending on what kind of heroes you want to deploy, like for instance, I don't use this guy, but if I really want to get that troops plus 20%, he might be worth using, because it might be worth that extra 20% over somebody else that I have. So the troop and the hero composition is very important when you go to Legion. At the moment, this is what I'm using. I don't really have like all the heroes or anything like that. You get them as you go, and as you can tell, there is quite a few that I actually have not unlocked. There is also items that you can actually equip, and actually, boars, I have these boots that I can go ahead and equip right now. And the way that you get these items is the blacksmith. Right on the bottom there, you go over to the blacksmith, and let me go ahead and claim this item. It is an armor that I was creating for one of my heroes, And these are the 4 items that I can make at the moment. I'm sure there's more as you level up, etc. But the gold you get from the games. So you play in order to get the gold, and this is how you start upgrading your hero. Now, speaking of upgrading your heroes, there is also a tavern on the bottom right. When you go over to your tavern, there is a couple of different things that you can do. There is the tavern owner, which is the first one there, and that's common. Now, these runes right here, they're the ones that you use to actually summon heroes, right? And then now you also get these runes from playing games. So the more games you play, the more gold you have, the more heroes you can recruit, etc, etc. You get the point. You get rewarded for playing the game. So I have a times 10 for 950. Let's just go ahead and do it and see what we get. Now this is the common recruitment, so I'm hoping for at least like a couple of decent heroes. Let's see. Okay, so these shards right here, those are shards that you're going to be needing in order to upgrade the ones that you already have. So I didn't get a new hero, but because I have these heroes, I can start using these shards to upgrade my heroes. So I actually have another 100. Let's see what we get. And we get Princess Sult. Okay, and that's more shards. Cool, cool. So then you also have the mysterious trader. Now here is where you would actually use your gems. So I actually, you get 1 free recruitment every day. And this has a higher chance of getting a legendary hero. So let's see what we get with my free roll. And we get 10 of these, which is also another currency that you use to upgrade your heroes, which is common soulfire. So let's go ahead and use my gems to get another one. Yes, and we get 10 more of Lucent. So another thing to note is that the matchmaking is very, very balanced because it goes off of these titles right here. And right now I'm a Baron 2. And since I've only really been playing a couple of days, that makes sense. But the more you play, the more you upgrade, the higher your rank is going to be. And the matchmaking is going to try to get you with somebody that's your same rank. So it's always going to be a fair matchmaking. It's not going to put you up with somebody that has like way like stronger heroes, etc. It's going to be always pretty even. Now remember that we have that armor, so what I'm going to go ahead and do is go ahead and equip him with that because I still need that. There we go. And now he still needs the boots. So I actually just finished a match and I got some gold off of it. So I got 22,000 gold and that gives me just enough to forge these boots. So we'll go ahead and do that. And now we'll go ahead and start a brand new game. So once you go over here, now this is the starting area. It looks like there will be more. As I'm sure there's going to be more heroes released in the future, etc. Like, for instance, we have Sky. And that one's fairly similar, but I'm sure that the map is going to be different. But for now, we have the starting one, which is Camelot. 50 hours, up to 12 players. There's the rewards. And you can do duos or solos. I'm going to be doing solo, obviously. So let's go ahead and jump into it. That's the team that I'm usually going with. That's right. And let's enter the match. Here we go. Okay, so here we go. I think I started at the edge. I did start at the edge. So as you can tell, there isn't 12 people here just yet. People will join in. But essentially, let's just go over what we're seeing here. Protection time is it's less than 2 hours. But that's perfectly fine because this is your starting area. And essentially what you want to do is you want to branch out, start taking over things, and then improve your military and all that. But let's go over to my castle first of all. Now there's something here that's very, very familiar for all of you, right? And that is lumber mill, iron mill, farm, barracks. We all know all of that, right? But they all start at level 1 and you have to upgrade them in progression. There's also a couple of resources that you really need to look out for. That's wood, you got iron, and then you have food. Now wood is obviously going to be the main resources to build things, to upgrade things, like the buildings, etc. Iron is to replenish your troops, because as you fight, your troops are going to die. So iron is what you're going to be using to actually train back your troops. And the food is probably one of the most important resources, because this is what you're going to be using to move around. Now, because we just started here, right? And I got 3,000 gold right off the bat. Very nice. There are these chests that you can open, And the more you take over, like all these lands, the more chests that you're going to be able to open as well. But these are the woodlands and all these other resource tiles that you're going to be needing to take over. So these are pretty much going to be uncontested because this is the starting area. But as you take over the fortresses, more castles, etc., you can start taking over more resources. And obviously, the more resources you have coming in, the better you're going to be, because you're going to be able to move more, have more actions, upgrade more, etc. So it's all very important. It's actually very fast paced at the beginning. Like for instance, Town Hall, we want to get that upgraded. That way we can do more actions, because right now I can only do one action at a time. And as you can tell, as you upgrade your Town Hall, you can actually have actions queued up. So you can have Lumber Mill upgrading, then queue up the Iron Mill to upgrade the farm, etc, etc. So now we actually just won this battle, but I want to go ahead and show you guys how that actually looks, okay? Because when you go in there, it's not just free. You have to actually win a fight. So let's go ahead and start this fight right here. Yeah, so let's go ahead and look at it and show you how the graphics are, how it all works, etc. So that's the formation that I put in the front. So remember, the formation you kind of set up before you start the match. You take a look at the bonds, which heroes you have, which bonds would be beneficial for you, etc. And then you make your formations. Now after that, you pretty much just let them go and see them in action. Obviously, this is a much easier one. There's really not too much competition because this is just level 1 stuff. But once you go ahead and you take these out, you get experience, which means that your heroes start to level up, which makes them stronger. And obviously, the stronger they are, the better they'll be. Now, since this is real time, you can actually go over to the other sections and you can actually see what they are doing. So it's not hidden or anything like that. You can see where everybody is, what they're doing. This guy's actually not doing anything. And this guy's way ahead of me, so I need to get on my horse, technically, like literally. But yeah, that's pretty much it. You start taking over some lands. As protection phases drop, like for instance, these fortresses and all of these, as they drop, you can actually start taking over them, upgrade their buildings, and the more resources, the better. Now, as you can tell, right over here, where it says battle on the left-hand side, the green, once the battle is over, you'll see that the green is going to actually go down a bit right there. And that's just your troop force, your fighting force. So once that gets down a little bit too much, what you can do is you can actually go back to one of your main castles. This one obviously is the only castle I have at the moment. But once you go back to one of your main castles, you can actually replenish your army and you can go back out and keep fighting and exploring. Also, these right here, the Dark Guards, they give you experience and Stones of Destiny, which are all used for bonds and obviously leveling up your hero, which is very important if you want to make sure that you're as strong as you can be. So there you go. They're back at my castle, and you see that the green bar is completely full now. So we're good to go. Now, if you want to go ahead and start the game, you can go to the official Facebook page for a gift code. All you have to do is send a message Aevatrex, and you'll get a gift code that is going to be able to give you some extra stuff to start the game. And also, there is going to be a link down in the description for you to download the game. So yeah, make sure that you go ahead and download the game. Links are going to be down in the description. And actually, for the next video, I want to go ahead and do something. Make sure that you go ahead and download the game and add me in the game. Like usual, it's going to be Aevatrex. And what we can do is we can go ahead and start a game and we can form an alliance. So I'll go ahead and pick one of you and form an alliance and go up against 10 other people and see if we can come out victorious. So if you're down, make sure that you download the game, add me, and maybe you'll be the lucky winner. So good luck. Appreciate you guys for watching, and until later, bye.